Today we're going to talk about a special game just because we love it.
Love it.
Torchlight.
Yeah.
Made from the same guys who, most of them worked on Diablo.
Yeah.
And they've done Mythos.
Yeah.
Which sadly isn't with us anymore.
Fate. They also
And
did
Fate.
before Mythos. Yeah, it's they now call themselves Runic Games and not the Hellgate London studio anymore. But yeah, it's a Diablo-ish game, and before saying anything else, at least for my account, it's the game that has done the best job of just providing the perfect mix of loot, action, and just cool graphics since Diablo 2. And I mean, I've played them pretty much all. Titan Quest, Hellgate London, everything that's been released in that kind of genre. And this is just awesome, and it's cheap, and it's come from out of nowhere if you haven't, been closely following the studio since Mythos closed down. So yeah, it's kind of a surprise, but it's really good.
Yeah, they kind of take the most important aspect of it, and they keep it kind of simple while still keeping it. You can still do a lot of stuff like build your character, and you get skill points that you can set out in different trees, and you can specialize in what you want to do. But it's fairly simple. It's just the kind of click and just hammer on your mouse until it breaks down. And just wave after wave of monsters, new dungeons, randomized dungeons. Yeah. Bosses, named creatures, fame, loot.
Yeah, and if you really compare it to the previous games, it is a product of everything they've done before. Like some of the best ideas that I like, for instance, that you're able to buy maps that just gives you like a random level, random dungeon at let's say level 20 to 30, where you just can go down, kill monsters, and level up. Is one of the ideas they also used in Mythos, I believe.
Or was it Fate?
Maybe it was Fate.
Yeah.
And again, you have the pet, which is your kind of little friend that is always there. You can send it to town to sell everything you don't want, so you can just continue, which is just an amazing idea. You can feed it like fish that you can get from a little mini game, and it turns into this new powerful monster that can just bash the brains in of pretty much everything. And it's just a lot of small good ideas, and that's part of it. That's like the skeleton of the game. The thing they have mastered, though, is the combat, or at least in my book, is the combat, because when you kill something, it really just feels right. Even though you're killing like hundreds of monsters, they just have the special effects. They have like the whole screen shaking when you do a critical, and everything just feels right. And also, which is really huge for a game like this, it has the perfect loot percentage of every monster you kill. It doesn't just throw loot after you. It just times it perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. And the game flows. You can just lose hours in it because it just keeps flowing on. The action never stops. It just every level is when you start out, it's in a mine, and then suddenly you're in a deep temple below ground, and you keep going down and down and down, and kind of like you did it as well in Diablo. Just also the way the characters work. That you have, for example, I played as an alchemist. I think you did too, which is kind of the mage character. But in the skill trees, you can still go for: do I want to shoot the monsters with spells? I can specialize in that. Do I want to go and get summons? Get like small imps and golems and stuff that help me, or do I want to be like a melee kind of class? Even though I'm a mage character, I can still focus on melee. Or I can just mix and match.
I love that you can actually mix it, because if you want to go with one route, it doesn't require you to level every spell until, for instance, you get to level 20. You can just pick the level 20 spell, and that's it from one skill tree, and use everything else from another skill tree. But all these things are really good. But what really amazed me is the music and the graphics, because they really are up to par on pretty much every full price game that I'm playing today. I mean, the graphics, the design of the graphics are just really good, and the music, well, they got the guy from Diablo 2 to actually do some of the music, and it sounds amazing.
Yeah. Let's just get the last thing, and that what Torchlight actually lacks, though, is multiplayer. It's a single player game only. It should really miss having like co-op possibilities. So go on adventures with friends. That is something that they'll either work in.
They're gonna. The idea right now is that they're gonna release a new game in 18 months. That pretty much is gonna be a fully MMO version of Torchlight, and it basically sounds like what they did with Mythos. So I really think that will actually happen.
Yeah. Hopefully Torchlight. I haven't seen any numbers right now, but hopefully Torchlight's sold enough. It's been getting a lot of good press.
And at a bargain price.
At a very, very good bargain price, either directly from Runic or through channels like Steam, for example. So and this is like from the heart of both me and Thomas. Try out Torchlight. You can get it for like no money at all.
$20.
$20 or like 15 euros. And you'll have a blast for hours and hours and hours. Yeah. So, Torchlight, babies.